SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game. Right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in on a Wednesday, Sports Talk Mississippi. Borkey and Hadad with you. We got a lot to get to today. You have, as the portal turns, some head-scratching things that have gone on in the transfer portal, not necessarily related to Ole Miss and Mississippi State anymore.
But they were. Now they aren't.
Now they aren't.
Now they're other people's problems.
Apparently so. You've got some finality or apparent finality with one portal player that has been in Oxford for a while, but still, we will tell you about that. Apparently, Trinidad's hearing with the NCAA anyway, not the legal hearing, but the NCAA hearing is happening today, this afternoon. A lot of people thinking that it's going to go Ole Miss's way. We'll talk about that coming up here in a little bit as well. You've got lines that we didn't get to yesterday for the NFL playoffs. We'll look at those here in a little bit. There's just stuff popping up all over in the sports world, including a just complete blown opportunity for Ole Miss basketball last night. Effort is something that I don't like to bring up very often because sometimes you just play poorly. Mm-hmm. When the head coach brings up effort, I think it's fair for us to talk about effort from a couple players in particular in Ole Miss's loss last night. You got hoops tonight and more. So a lot coming your way. So glad that you guys are with us.
We need to come up with a sounder for the portal, but it's to the tune of Proud Mary. You know, portal wheel keep on turning, portal Mary keep on burning, transferring. Anyway, this is the Pearl River Resort Studios. I won't be on stage at Pearl River Resort anytime soon, so that should probably be
we can pull some strings and get you up there.
No, let's not pull those strings. Let's leave those strings unpulled. You can enjoy great entertainment at Pearl River Resort. Great shows all the time. Check them out. Check out the calendar at pearlriverresort.com. C-Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. In sports and business, having the right team behind you matters. Partner with C-Spire today for business solutions from dedicated certified IT engineers. Learn more at cspire.com. C-Spire, inspired by you.
I know when Snowpocalypse, the annual Snowpocalypse comes, people like to make a lot of jokes.
Snowmageddon, but go ahead. Yeah.
People like to make jokes and stuff like that. And look, they're all funny. People do descend into mass hysteria sometimes, but
they got to make French toast.
It's a little bit different when you're talking about ice and the expected ice that we're going to get.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself. You've got a couple more days still. You don't have to go buy all the bread from the shelves and stuff like that. But one thing that stands out to me, or that like I always try to remind people with our platform, is if you have outside pets, bring them in.
Yeah.
A lot of people do keep like dogs outside full time or cats outside full time. Bring them inside with the weather that we're expected. But again, ice is different than snow. We freak out about snow. Ice is a little bit different. Be safe. The forecast, especially in North Mississippi, we might, knock on wood, here in this area, hey, Dad, avoid.
Looks like y'all might be okay.
Might be fine.
I'm gonna get a little taste of it, I believe.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But those
I'll
of you
ready.
North of here could be dealing with some nasty stuff, power outages, fallen trees, stuff like that. Bring your pets inside. Prepare. Get yourself a power bank, stuff like that. Be ready for this because. Unfortunately, we're not going to get the nice snow that they're going to get. I've got a friend that lives in Nashville.
Oh, he's going to get snow.
Oh, my God. He's got a 3-year-old, too. It's like you guys are going to have the best day. Like, this is going to be the coolest weekend you've had. You're getting 12 inches of snow. You've got a hill right by your house you're going to go sledding on all day. It's going to be great. Not here.
No, but it is what it is. The weather will be cold, but the takes on this show are hot.
Pow, pow.
Where do you want to start today?
I mean, we got to start with basketball, right? Auburn beats Ole Miss 78-66. It was a 1-point game at the half. Auburn really pulled away from Ole Miss to start the second half, but Ole Miss started making some outside shots, cut it to 3, I think, with about 3 minutes left. But even in that moment, it felt like it just wasn't sustainable, and for a couple of reasons. I mean, we could go through the box score, I guess, but here's what you really need to look at in this game. The effort categories, right? Auburn out-rebounded Ole Miss 42-26. The points in the paint category was just flat-out dominant. Auburn completely and totally physically overmatched and dominated Ole Miss for basically the entirety of this game. Auburn shot 39 free throws, which, by the way, sidebar, not why they lost. Ole Miss didn't attack the basket. Auburn did.
Ole Miss is not a team that gets a lot of free throws.
Well, when
they didn't get a lot against State.
Plays himself off the floor again. We'll get to that in a second. Ole Miss didn't attack the basket. Ole Miss only made 12 shots from inside the arc in this game. 12 shots from inside the arc in this game Ole Miss made. They didn't attack the basket. Auburn did. But my gosh, you don't need that tight of a whistle in college basketball, guys. I mean, Ole Miss could have taken advantage. They didn't. Chris Beard, after the game, said as much. It's like, yeah, the free throw discrepancy is massive, but their style allowed for that to be the case, and Ole Miss did not try to take advantage of that. We don't need that many free throws in a basketball game. I mean, it's an absurdity. We don't need.
No, I agree.
We don't need 54 free throws shot in a game. They didn't foul that much. That was absurd. It was a horrible watch. But Ole Miss lost in the effort categories. Hey, Dad, they got completely dominated on the glass. Points in the paint, 38-14.
Yeah.
38-14. And the biggest indictment.
And out-rebounded by, what did you say it was, 16?
42-26. And
big piece of that, Keyshawn Murphy, 16 points, 14 rebounds. Keyshawn Murphy, Nafum, not a fan of Ole Miss. Had some comments after the game about how this game still means a lot to him.
Yeah. And Ole Miss made him look like
bad.
prime Shaq. But when James Scott and Malik Dia in particular, starters, combined for 28 minutes. They played 28 minutes combined. 2 points, 1 made field goal, 2 rebounds, and 2 turnovers. Those are your 2 bigs that started the game for you. They played only 28 minutes combined, gave you 2 points and 2 freaking rebounds. Malik Dia in particular, one loss is not on one player, I guess, but he was completely unplayable in that game. And as a veteran player, similar conversation to Josh Hubbard, right? I mean, you're getting paid too much to have the skill set that you have to be completely unplayable in a home conference game. I saw people keep saying last night, oh, Chris Beard's sending a message. No, he wasn't. He couldn't play. I mean, I guess there's a message in that I can't put you on the floor because your effort and your play is so bad. But that's no, what he was doing is trying to give his team the best chance to win. And Malik Dia being on the floor did not give them their best chance to win. And that is unacceptable. The fact that your bigs gave you that in a home game that was entirely winnable for you is just unacceptable. So a lot went wrong. But, man, when you get that physically dominated and the effort was that poor after winning 3 games in a row and you're at home and your students are back and all that, Dia in particular is a mystifying player because he's bright. Like, he's a very smart young man if you listen to him. He's very smart.
Well, it was at Duke, wasn't he?
Belmont.
Who am I thinking of?
Brakefield was at Duke.
That's right, Brakefield. Okay.
But still, he's a very smart young man. Got a great, I mean, physically he's impressive. He's got a great skill set, and then will just disappear. And it's got to, kill Chris Beard trying to figure out how can I get this guy to be what he can be more often. It's mystifying. He was unplayable in a home game.
And now, assuming the weather allows it, a trip to Kentucky this weekend. Am I reading that right?
That is correct.
Kentucky's playing pretty good basketball right now. That's going to be a tough one. So, you look at this Ole Miss schedule, Kentucky, then they get the midweek off. Get Vanderbilt, who's reeling a little bit. We said on this show, we could see Vanderbilt maybe having a stretch where they lose 2 or 3 in a row. That's happening to them right now. Then you got Tennessee. That's at Tennessee's tough. It's
just
Texas.
A complete missed opportunity. I mean,
this was a chance for you to get one. So
and they didn't play well. Again, a lot of things went poorly. Storr played hard. He didn't play well, but he played hard. He didn't have an effort issue. Perry's starting to make shots. That helps. But again, because of what you did in the non-conference, you can forgive a loss to Auburn if you take care of business in the non-conference. Now, again, you had a chance, and you just squandered an opportunity last night. An entirely winnable game. Auburn didn't shoot well, but they out-efforted you. And that's not something that you should be able to say. But that is what happened last night. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio. We'll be back.
It's time to get real. Real sports talk for Mississippi.
It's time for you to get real with it.
Sports Talk Mississippi continues on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Other scores in the SEC last night. Hadad made reference to it. Arkansas just walloped Vanderbilt, 93-68. The Doors, after being 16-0, are reeling a bit.
Yeah, they've lost 3 straight, I believe.
LSU is going to be looking for a new coach. They are now 1-5 in the SEC. Florida beats them last night, 79-61. Georgia, Missouri played a fun one. Georgia wins by 2, 74-72 on the road in Columbia. Oklahoma also going to be looking for a new coach this offseason. Yeah. They lose at South Carolina. That's an unforgivable one.
Oh, that's a bad one. Yeah, and they've lost to South Carolina and Mississippi State. That's not going to get the job done for Porter Moser.
He seems like a nice guy too, but just not working out there.
Well, and he had a couple. He had that great run at Loyola, where he went to the final, or was it Final Four, Elite Eight with Sister Jean? I don't remember. But, yeah, it just he hasn't been able to do much at Oklahoma.
And then tonight, Texas is at Kentucky at 6. That's on the SEC Network. Kentucky is 6.5-point favorite. And then the nightcap, also obviously on the SEC Network, Mississippi State, a pretty big underdog at 8.5 on the road at Texas A&M.
The way they're playing right now, I'd probably give you those points. I just don't know what Mississippi State is. They don't really have much of an identity. They don't have much, consistency. They could win. Don't get me wrong. You could have one of those games like they had it with Texas, where Hubbard goes for 30 and Epps goes for 20, and everybody else just kind of makes it work around them. Or they could lose again by 20 plus. Mississippi State is a grab bag at this point.
Is it the? Are we Bill Belichick right now? We're on to baseball.
For the most part,
lose tonight, and then it's just like, if you're in town and you want to bring the kid to something, basketball's there. Otherwise, on to baseball.
Somebody asked me about that the other day. Like, what crowds do you think you'll get for this team going forward? And I thought the only one I think where you might have some people there is the Auburn game, because people want to boo Keyshawn Murphy. Other than that, there's not a lot.
That is.
It just is what it is. The team's not good. The baseball team has massive expectations. People just aren't. They're gonna just get through these next 30 odd days, 20 some odd days, and get to baseball at this point. Yeah, that's just where you are. And 1 point, right? If they beat Ole Miss, And not that, I don't want that to be perceived as, well, of course they beat them. If they are 3-2 and they had come back and they had won that game, you could talk yourself into some things. Yeah. But at 2-3, the margins are just that fine for Mississippi State. They're 90th in the net. They need to win. They'd have to find a way to string together 5, 6, 7 wins in a row here in the SEC. That's just not going to happen.
No, it is not going to happen. In football news, interesting news here in the state of Mississippi. Football Scoop was first on this. Todd Cooley, the head coach at Delta State, has stepped away from Delta State. He is joining Pete Golding's staff at Ole Miss. He will be according to Football Scoop, the assistant to the head coach, and apparently will also
assistant to the head coach, okay. And will serve he'll have a big role in high school relations. Which, knowing what we know about Todd Cooley, that's a perfect guy for the job. One, he's got head coaching experience, and that's another former head coach on that staff for Pete Golding. I mean, you've got a former NFL head coach, you've got a former G5 head coach, and now a former Division II head coach on his staff. It's pretty impressive in that regard, just the amount of experience that he's putting around him, considering that he has not been one but for 3 games. That's smart.
Himself. But Todd Cooley was awesome at Delta State, obviously. They should have made the playoffs this year if not for that goofy stuff that somebody pulled on them last minute. Yeah. Remember that?
It's ridiculous, yeah.
He's always gracious with his time with us and a heck of a football coach. I'm sure Delta State is not too happy to see him go, but he's got a great reputation in the state, and he's going to go work for Pete Golding.
Speaking of Pete Golding, you need to reach out to your people. We got to get him on the show.
Now that the portal is dying down, that'll
okay.
Yeah, they're still
looking forward to having an Ole Miss head football coach on the show live for the first time since I've been on the show.
I remember after Kiffin got hired at first, he gave us about 6 minutes of garbage.
I wasn't on that show, apparently.
You weren't there that day. It was horrendous, man. I mean, it really was. It's one of those things. And, not every coach is going to give you an A+ interview. We've had other coaches come on, and, some are better at interviews than others.
Right. Was a bad one?
No, it was horrendous.
Yeah.
The media days interviews are horrendous.
Yeah, well, he's just not great at it. He's great at the
could be great at it.
Yeah, I mean, could be, but he's not.
Chooses not to be.
Yeah,
I suppose. But yeah, I saw that today. Interesting news.
And it goes back to something that I thought Levy should have done when he was hired, which was get some veteran guys in there, get some veteran voices, and he didn't do it this first year, and I think it hurt him. Last year, you bring in Mike McIntyre and Paul Rhodes. I don't necessarily know how much it helped things when you look at the stats, but early in the season, that defense was playing better, and some of that was attributed to them. Now you've got Arnett and Mac Brock, both former guys, former defensive coordinators. You bring in Kevin Johns and Bush Hamdan as your assistants. These are guys who've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So State had one of the most inexperienced staffs in the country, Levy's first year. Now I feel like they got a better look at that.
And you've seen some of that with game management stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that has shined. Did I see correctly that McIntyre is now the defensive coordinator at Oregon State? Did I see that correctly?
Mike McIntyre?
I think I saw that correctly. You might want to fact check me on that. I think I saw that today.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, from footballscoop.com. Yeah, it looks, that's what it says. The Athletics. Okay, well, there you go. I had not seen that. Okay.
So, and you you hate that you lose a staff member like that. But you love, if you're Jeff Lebby, you can point to, hey, come work on my staff and look at what happened.
Right.
One year as an analyst under me, and he's back to being a defensive coordinator somewhere. You want to grow your tentacles as a coach or your whatever expression you want to use. But yeah, that's he's a really good coach. I don't know, like his job resume doesn't match the quality of a coach that I think that he is, if that makes sense.
Vastly improved that Ole Miss defense. Mm-hmm. From where, of course, I could have found a couple of girls who've never played football in their life from Mozambique who didn't know that football was a real thing, and they would have been better than Wesley McGriff was. But I mean, you can't deny the progress he made. Good recruiter too.
Yeah, McGriff, man, seems like a nice dude.
So that was tweeted 9 hours ago. So that 6:10 a.m. No wonder I didn't see it, Bruce. What are you doing? Bruce lives on the West Coast. What are you doing? Go to bed, Bruce Feldman.
Oh, man. You knew McGriff was cooked when he kept saying they were already lacking in talent, right? They didn't have the best players out there. And he kept saying, got to simplify, limit the menu, got to simplify my defense. It's like, hold on, you already don't have great players.
Same. That's brought to you by the same people who were like, hey, for Nick Brazel, put up a big NB on the board so he knows the ball's going to him this play.
No, so that was for the quarterback.
Oh, well, whatever.
Because it wasn't
That's
just
not any better.
It wasn't just NB. It was BB for Brandon Bolden. It was
oh my gosh. Nobody's going to figure that out.
Yeah, simplify. Yeah, that's right. That's when SEC teams are preparing for your defense, you want them to guess as little as possible about what you're doing. Yeah, let's just run some base defense out here, guys. They won't be able to pick us apart at all.
4-3 stack. Let's go.
Yeah. We had high school coaches that were like that, but mostly because we did have players that could just go.
Well, yeah, you had to keep it simple there. You're getting 3 hours a day at best.
Oh, man. Other staff news, told you that it was happening yesterday, but Miami's tight end coach, Cody Woodiel, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. He's from Hernando, played at Troy, I believe, his college ball, but he's been with Cristobal for a while. Coming back to Mississippi, that is now, I mean, it was happening. There's a reason they left the tight end coach job open throughout the playoff and through portal recruiting because they were waiting on this guy to be done with his team and hired him on, but that is done. And then the strength and conditioning coach, Pete Golding's S&C coach, has actually been there for a little bit now, but they just announced it today. I don't know why they waited until this long because, again, he's been there. But Paul Constantine, he comes to Ole Miss, actually from the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, Dad, your favorite team is where he's.
I got a big kick out of what happened to the Falcons yesterday with the Baker Mayfield tweet.
Oh yeah, that was
outstanding.
That was good, but yeah. So I don't know much about him. I know he's been in an NFL S&C program for a while, and now he'll be in Oxford. So. I'd be lying to you if I said that I knew more than that about him, but they did make that official today. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Seabrook or number one for Sports Talk.
Anyone? Come on, don't be shy.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Bingo, man, bingo.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Let's let this run for a second, if you don't mind. We'll get to it in just a second. Here it comes. Went down around Vicksburg. Sports Talk Mississippi. Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey here with you on a Wednesday afternoon. Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you in part by AgriGold. AgriGold believes progress in the field starts with seed and the people who plant it. That's why AgriGold focuses 100% on seed, delivering trusted genetics and solutions to help you get more out of every acre. Contact Carrie Baker at 662-836-7417, your local AgriGold representative, to learn more, or visit agrigold.com to explore seed solutions and agronomy resources. Plant your legacy today with AgriGold. Normally, I'm not much for the negatives on the C Spire text line, but when somebody calls me a dolt, that's a top-tier insult. You don't ever hear anybody being called a dolt anymore. He wanted to know what I was talking about with Baker Mayfield. The Falcons hired Kevin Stefanski, who is the head coach of the Browns, when they cut Baker Mayfield.
Wait, I don't think he's earned a response, but
he called me a dolt.
I respect you for
Dolt is a high-level insult. He didn't call me like a bad word or thing. That's a fancy insult. Anyway, so they hired the coach who cut Baker Mayfield. A Falcons beat writer tweeted about it and said, he was the head coach with when Baker Mayfield failed in Cleveland, and Baker saw it and tweeted back, "Failed." And he's like, "That's not how I would describe it when I haven't never even got a call from the guy when I got cut. Looking forward to seeing you twice a year, coach." So he took a shot at him. So I like that. I like a little business like that.
Shout out to Matt in Hernando with the correction. See, Matt, this is what I get for relying on AI to help me with a pronunciation. Ole Miss's new tight end coach, I said Cody Woodiel because that's what AI told me his last name was. No, incorrect. Matt from Hernando says it's pronounced Wood-Dull. Wood-Dull, high school teammate and best friend. Happy he's coming home to the SIP. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, and tell him to come on Sports Talk Mississippi sometime as well. We'd love to have him.
See if we can talk to him. I'm still interested. I wonder if Golding will be a little more lax on allowing assistants to talk. I don't know yet.
Apparently he will, because he thinks that there's value in giving them the interview experience because they want to be head coaches one day, and if you're a head coach, you got to do interviews.
It's true. It's true.
It's the same thing with players. I don't know why schools shut out players.
Now you're barking up my tree, man. That's correct. I don't understand why. You can talk to high school kids and pro guys. They have to be able to talk, but college kids are like, we can't let you talk to them.
Oh, especially now when the fans are paying for them.
Oh, that's another thing. It's another thing. So
anyway, we got this message on the text line. Why is Mississippi State baseball ranked so high? Please explain. And then he followed up with, Coach Blah, what is pitching and hitting and defense? So, hey, Dad, ball on a tee for you, pun intended. Why is there so much hype about this particular Mississippi State baseball team?
I mean, from a position player standpoint, you're talking about your starting 9, incredibly deep. You got the potential SEC Player of the Year in Ace Reese. You bring back Noah Sullivan, who was a double-digit home run guy, 300 guy last year. Bryce Chance has got a lot of experience for you. But then you also brought in the nation's number 1 transfer portal class. And you brought in 3 guys from Virginia who are probably going to play a lot. Aiden Teal is going to be a star for Mississippi State. James Nunnally. We'll see what Sean James has to bring. He's a utility player. You bring in Ryder Woodson, who's one of the top hitters in the country last year. He'll sort of shore up that middle infield for you. I'm sorry, not Ryder Woodson. I'm thinking of Drew. What was his last name? Kid from the American East Conference. I can't remember his name. Ryder Woodson is the kid from North Carolina State. But those are probably your middle infielders. You bring in the catcher from Seton Hall, double-digit home run guy for them last year. And then on the pitching staff, you've got 5, 6, 7 guys that are going to be 93 to 98 this year. Just a ton of potential there with O'Connor and Justin Parker are 2 the top pitching minds in the country. I mean, there's just so much talent on this team. If they aren't good, it will be a massive surprise. They're almost too big to fail. They just have that much talent. And I mean, I didn't even mention some guys like Blake Beavis, who had 18 home runs last year. I didn't mention Jacob Parker coming in as a true freshman who, everybody thought was going to be drafted in the first 10 rounds, and he ends up at Mississippi State. I didn't mention Jack Bauer, left-hander who throws 100. Guys like that don't get to college very often, and he's going to be on State's, on the roster, and he'll have a role to play. It's funny you ask, by the way. I'll be talking to Coach Justin Parker tomorrow for the Thunder and Lightning podcast. I'm going to ask him about Bauer, like what role can he play in year one.
You'll be able to hear it on this show as well.
Perhaps, it depends on how generous I'm feeling. So there's just talent at every position for Mississippi State. They've got a lot of talented guys.
So there you go.
And that's as good an answer as I can give today. Drew Wires, that is the correct. There we go.
Somebody says USM's going to be very deep this year too. Read an article that said Southern Miss could hit over 100 home runs as a team.
Could happen.
Nothing that they would do that would surprise me.
State and Southern have a ton of power. I don't know about Ole Miss.
Ole Miss has got power, too.
They got power,
That's going to
too,
be their strength offensively is the long ball.
So, good. Makes for exciting baseball games when those 3 teams play. Looking forward to it.
Makes for some exciting games, and there's going to be other games where you strike out 17 times. It's Ole Miss's lineup, I think, I think, is going to have a major league feel to it when it comes to two outcomes. Long ball or strikeouts. I mean, that's what you return, right? You return a group of big-time home run hitters with high strikeout rates. Very similar to a build of a major league team. So we shall see. Noah Sullivan coming back will be huge for this team, somebody says.
Yeah, that's a big piece. Getting him back. I didn't even mention Garrick Fry, one of State's leading hitters last year. Yeah. I mean, he's back. They're just so. I honestly don't know that the first 3 games of the season, that you'll have the same starting lineup out there 3 times. I think he may play around with it and just try to figure out what works, just because you've got so many guys. I mean, the only guy for sure I would pencil in is Ace Reese, and then everything else I got to try to figure it out.
You got the time to.
Yeah.
The schedule is much better. You're not desperate to win every non-conference game you play.
Right.
Because it's not going to damage you as much as...
But at the same time, I think you say, okay, let's have that discussion, though. The past few years have kind of scarred Mississippi State fans as far as non-conference. Are tired. I think O'Connor's like, let's just get through this without any problems, right? Let's be, 1 loss at most when we get to conference play, if we can pull that off. And they should have the pitching depth to be able to do that. So,
any Mississippi talent on this team, or is it just an NIL bought team? Well, man, even in baseball now at the SEC level, you got to pay for your roster.
Yeah.
So that's just a thing that's going to have to happen.
Looking at State's roster, let's see here. Jacob Parker, obviously I mentioned him. He's from Purvis. Where is Bryce Chance is from Mississippi. Trying to get a less. Here we go. They got another guy in there. Where is he? There's a bunch of Mississippi kids. I don't know how many of them are going to make a huge contribution. I mean, Gatlin Sanders was State's starting second baseman last year. He played at Madison Central. I don't know if he'll get the starting nod or not, but I mean, that State's always been like that. I mean, who are the best players in State's history? Brent Rooker's not from Mississippi. Will Clark's not from Mississippi. Rafael Palmeiro's not from Mississippi. Brantley, Thigpen, not from Mississippi. Mangum obviously is. Tanner Allen wasn't from Mississippi. So on and so forth.
Yeah. Also in baseball news, it's not surprising. Hunter Elliott's been given another year, so he will be listed as a junior.
Is he really? Good for him. This will be his last year, though. There's no way he's sticking around for another year.
So that's kind of what I thought. I mean, so he missed basically 2 seasons, played in 4 games in 1, and then missed another. So you're going to get a year back for that medically.
Yeah.
My guess would be in the draft, you use this as leverage. Mm-hmm. You get picked. If you don't sign me to what I think is an adequate number, I've got an extra year to go back to college. You guys know this. Everybody out there listening knows this, that in the baseball draft, if you don't have any eligibility left, they will lowball you.
$10,000 signing bonus, something like that.
Yeah. If he had another year,
it would have
been more. And so having that extra year in your pocket helps. I guess obviously he can come back in 27 if the offer's not good enough, so that's there. But that's not surprising. I know it's news because it happened, but he was going to get another year. It was a very cut and dry medical situation, obviously. And so, here's your baseball update for the day. Sports Talk Mississippi. We're in the Pearl River Resort Studio. You can text us on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. 601-879-4395. Last message here quickly. Somebody says we will see how good this team is when they come back from the Arlington weekend.
Yeah, especially, the Sunday game is against the number 1 team in the nation. They play UCLA on Sunday. So, could be a tremendous early season test for the Bulldogs.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Venable Glass Talk Mississippi.
Here we go.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Here's a $1 million question, or at least a few $1,000 question on the text line. Simply put, should I buy season tickets for state football? I saw that they put the link out there today for renewals and new buyers and stuff.
Price didn't go up either, so.
The football team has not earned more money from your fans. You should not raise the prices on your fans. Good call.
Yeah, it appears to be the same price as it was. I could be wrong on that, but
good call.
Appears to be the price. So yeah,
there's follow-up questions that need to be had.
Yeah, that's such a big question, right? Like my first question would just be, do you enjoy Mississippi State football? And if the answer is yes, then yeah, just do it. But
I don't know if I'd ask that question right now.
Well, yeah, but that's
it's not do you enjoy it, do you love it?
It's more than just the game kind of thing. Like, do you have family and friends that you get to see, and you work around these football games, and you tailgate and you enjoy yourself, and you have these experiences. If it's just about wins and losses, maybe let's see how the next couple of weeks play out in the portal. But I mean, I'm not going to argue that you wouldn't, though.
Yeah, I mean, here's the question: did you have them this past season?
Yeah. If you bought tickets coming out of 2-10 for this season, you should feel okay buying tickets coming out of 5-7 for next season.
He says, I love Mississippi State football. Well, there's your answer.
Then go. Yes, by all means, buy the tickets.
I'd do it. What is the home schedule? I will memorize the schedules at some point.
Yeah, it's ULM, Missouri, Alabama. I had it up earlier today.
I got it. ULM, Missouri, Alabama,
Oklahoma,
Vanderbilt, Auburn, Tennessee Tech, Oklahoma.
Pretty decent schedule. You get to see Oklahoma for the first time ever in Starkville. Alabama back on the schedule. Vandy and Auburn. Man. I mean, you can say those are, winnable football games. Missouri is winnable. Got a chance.
The timing of State getting through the brutal schedule to the SEC going to non-conference games is so unfortunate because this schedule is very similar to the rest of the league for 26. The entire league schedules are difficult. They added a conference game to everybody. Bad mistake, Greg Sankey. We talked about it yesterday. But you thought that, State's got to go through these 2 years, brutal schedule, and then it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The road games are Minnesota, South Carolina, LSU, Texas, Ole Miss. I mean,
not great.
I mean, come on.
Not great.
I mean, Minnesota's good.
Yeah.
They're solid. That's not an easy game.
No, and they were undefeated at home last year. And I mean, who's a better coach, PJ Fleck or Jeff Lebby? Off the top of your head.
Fleck right now.
Exactly. So, I mean, what do I always say with games you're not too sure about? Coach, quarterback, and where is the game? Well, I think Fleck's a better coach, and I think the game's in Minnesota. So even though I would probably take Kamario Taylor over a lot of quarterbacks, I looked already at Minnesota's quarterback. I have no idea who he is. I couldn't tell you anything about him. But just based on those two things, yeah, State's going to be an underdog in that game for sure.
And that's week 2.
Yeah. You get an idea of what the team is pretty quickly.
And then week 3's in Columbia. My gosh, what a fascinating start. They'll come home from Columbia. You'll know everything you need to know about Mississippi State.
Yeah, if State's 3-0, they're off and running. If they're 2-1, well, they got a good chance. And if they're 1-2, well, then it's time to start seriously thinking about what you want to put on your first hot board.
Hey, Dad, how many SEC games have we won in the last 5 years, somebody says?
It's 5 years?
Last 5 years, so it's one in the last 2.
Yeah, so in the last, it's 2 in the last 3.
2 in the last 3.
Leach's last year, they won 4. And then the next year, before that, they won 3. So 8, 10? 10 sounds right, I think. Is it 10? It's 9 or 10.
But as you've seen with Indiana, And I'm not saying that State's going to go undefeated, but what happened 5 years ago doesn't matter now.
I talk about that. I'm going to talk about that tonight on Thunder and Lightning, about why you've got to reset your expectations. For every college football team has to reset their expectations now because of what just happened at Indiana. There is no more. It's going to take time. Indiana went from the worst program in the country to national champions in 2 years. So if you're an athletic director, you should be asking your head coach right now, why isn't that us? If you got a coach who's been there longer than 2 years, you're asking him, why haven't you done that? What do I have to do to get you? What do I have to give you to get to that point? If they don't know the answer, not good. Not good. So, all right, 4 o'clock hour is coming up. Plenty more to talk about. We got to talk about Trinidad Chambliss. I mean, is that coming? Is that news coming, Borkey?
We'll talk about that, actually, when we come back. That's what we'll do after the news.
We'll do that when we come back. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. Hadad and Borkey with you on a Wednesday afternoon. Back after this.
Your Sports Talk Mississippi.
Hey, it's go time.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi, back here with you here on a Wednesday. Brian Hadad, Michael Borkey. Start the new year with a compact tractor that's a proven performer and get a great deal. You can get it all at Ag Up Equipment. Right now, you can get 0% financing for 48 months on select John Deere 1 through 4 series compact tractors. You can't beat these workhorses or the 0% financing. Stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com. Your down-home dealer offers 131.26. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? In about 20 minutes, we'll be talking to Ben Portnoy of the Sports Business Journal. He was live at the national championship game. I want to talk to him about some big picture college football stuff that we can hit up with Ben. Plus, we've got the college football fix back into the portal. Mississippi State with a big addition today. Ole Miss losing a player that they knew they were going to lose, but the drama, at least for now, is over. So plenty to talk about here as we continue on Sports Talk Mississippi.
Okay, so you asked, and we got a text earlier on the text line. Do we have a breaking news sounder ready for when the Trinidad news drops? Mm-hmm. We do have a breaking news sounder.
We do have one. Yeah.
I do not know if the Trinidad news is going to drop. I do think that there was some jumping of the gun earlier. But here's what I think I know right now, Hadad. What we know is that the appeals hearing was happening today. Okay. Now, Ole Miss is trying to get Trinidad eligible in two different ways. They're trying to go through the NCAA, mm-hmm. and they are also trying to go through the courts. If they don't get him eligible through the NCAA, the presumption is a Mississippi court's going to take care of it for him, right? That's what most people think. The hearing with the NCAA in his appeal for the appeal was happening today. Chase Parham on his show this morning did not say Ole Miss has won with the NCAA. That is not what he said. And I got text about it. Parham said that Trinidad is eligible. That's not what he said. I'm going to defend Chase because that's not what he said. He said there is a crazy amount of optimism that he will win with the NCAA today. Those are two different things. I was told from somebody this morning, more so than what Chase apparently said. Somebody told me, and again, this is rumor. I'm not reporting this as fact. This is rumor. Somebody told me that Ole Miss was going into the hearing basically already knowing that they've won. That it had been communicated with them kind of ahead of time, like, hey, you guys are going to win this thing. But the formal hearing has to happen. I don't know if it's true. I've tried to confirm it on a more official level, and I have not been able to do that. But that was a rumor going around this morning. Obviously, if that is true, and he does win that appeal today, Tom Mars, William Liston dropped the suit. He's playing ball. If he does not win that hearing today, they move forward with the suit. The expectation is he's going to play ball. This, though, is a much cleaner result for the NCAA. And here's why. Ole Miss has documentation now from Ferris State, from a physician with Ferris State, and his coach at Ferris State. That, hey, he didn't play because illness. Like, medically, that's why. And the NCAA, in their initial response for why he got denied, omitted those facts, right, to make themselves look good. That's what the NCAA does. You can't trust them. But the hang-up is that Division II does not have the same redshirt rules and all that stuff, regulations, that the FBS does. And so now that they have presumably met the requirements necessary, this is probably not a fight that the NCAA wants to get into because they will probably lose. And this comes just a few days after they've won an eligibility case in federal court. Because it was essentially a group of players saying, I want another year because. And they lost. The players did. The NCAA won. They're winning eligibility cases when it comes to players just asking for another year for the sake of it. So do you want to go down the medical red shirt road and lose when right now you're starting to stack up some wins? That's also a line of thinking here, is that the NCAA probably doesn't want to fight and lose when they're actually starting to win some of these things. So grant a waiver, say, hey, look, didn't have the documentation before, you do now, you satisfy the medical red shirt rules, and the process worked, right? We denied you, but you came back with new information, and you went on appeal, and all is good. And oh, by the way, if you're a player out there that wants just an extra year for the heck of it, here's a case that we just won, try us. That's probably easier for the NCAA to fight, I think. Anyway, I don't know for sure. But the expectation is that Trinidad Chambliss will be Ole Miss's quarterback in 26, whether it happens today or because the hearing was today, they don't announce it until tomorrow, or through the court system. I am now more confident than I have ever been that he will suit up for Ole Miss this fall.
Wasn't ever a doubt in my mind. So be it. What?
I mean, it's as simple as that. I'd never really thought that it was going to go another way.
I didn't, though. This whole time. I mean, if people have been listening to the show, you know that I have been saying, I fully expect him to get approved. The NCAA's record in these kind of cases is really bad.
It is. When it comes to a medical situation like this one, somebody says, what are the medical redshirt rules? Essentially, if an injury or a medical situation prevents you from playing more than 25% of your games, you get an additional year. But at the Division II level, it's different, which that doesn't make sense to me either, by the way. Why does Division II have different redshirt rules than Division I? It makes no sense.
Like, it's the NCAA. Everybody should just have the same rules. Doesn't make any sense.
And that's why apparently Ferris State didn't document it the same way that Mississippi State or Ole Miss would, because they don't have to. That's not a thing for them, or in the same way anyway. They're different, and that makes no sense at all. Bo says, what would stop him from playing 2 to 3 more? Because of what they're arguing is a medical situation. That was only for 1 year. And again, the NCAA's winning I just want an extra year because I can make more money in college cases. They're winning those right now. Now, we'll get to a conversation coming up later about a basketball player that has a temporary legal win that is shameful. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that word. We'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. But for now, Bo, it's only a medical thing. Because there's precedent that says the NCAA has a good case for, actually, we can have you have this many years to play restrictions. Legally, that's fine. So,
yeah, I don't think it's going to turn. I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to turn into. Well, I can just keep renewing this.
Yeah,
they will figure it out eventually. But
somebody says he had a cold, sniffles, totally legit, anxiety, you name it. I hope you know how incorrect you are about what his medical situation. I hope you know that. I would encourage you to read about it. Because that's not what it was. And I know that's like a popular thing to say online, but that's not what it was. At all. So Trinidad's going to play for free next year? Absolutely not.
No.
He's going to play for about $6 million, give or take a few $100K.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid more than double.
Where did that come from, that he's going to play for free?
Yeah, no, he's not going to play for free.
Nobody. No, how many starting quarterbacks in the SEC next year are playing for free? I'll set the over-under at 0.5. I'm taking the under. I mean, I can, Manning, Reed, Mateer. Who's Arkansas's quarterback next year? I don't know the answer to that.
I have no idea who it's going to be. I don't have a clue.
Who is it? Who is Arkansas?
Hey, I have no idea.
I got to know that.
Is it somebody from Memphis that followed Silverfield?
It's currently listed as. There's no way he's still eligible. That can't be right. It says Taylor Green. That can't be right. So I don't know. I don't know who their quarterback is.
Man, what would Taylor Green have gotten in the portal?
It says kid from Memphis, but I don't know who that is. But
beats me.
Yeah,
we'll learn that. We got a whole offseason to learn
I got plenty of time, but I'm like the fact that I don't know who it is right this second is kind of bothering me.
Well, I mean, yes, Texter, yeah, he's coming back because he wants to play another year and get more. No crap, but there's a legal basis for. There's grounds for that, and other guys don't have grounds for that. Yeah, of course. What's to get paid to play? Who doesn't? Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
It's time for more Sports Talk Mississippi.
Finally.
On SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
Tell your children not to walk my way.
Referred to my wife as mother the other day, and I started singing this.
Did you really?
That's when I hear this song, it's like the first thing I think of.
We broached the topic. We got to get to as the portal world turns in the 5 o'clock hour. So let's bring this up right now. I'm bad with pronouncing names, all right? Forgive me, okay? Charles, is it Bediako? Charles Bediako. Has been granted a temporary restraining order and is immediately eligible to participate for Alabama basketball. Bediako is currently a professional basketball player in the G League. And when I say currently, I mean he got G League minutes a few days ago. It's not like he's been at Alabama since August and has been trying to... No, he is a current professional basketball player, and more specifically, he is on his third contract as an American professional basketball player. He's actually from Canada, I suppose. But in his professional career, entered the 2023 NBA draft, played with the Spurs in Summer League, signed with them in October of 2023. He had a two-way contract in October of 2023. So he was a member of the San Antonio Spurs. They waived him in December, but he played for the Austin Spurs, their G League team. So again, American professional basketball player. He rejoined the team in March of 2024. In July of 2024, he joined the Orlando Magic organization for Summer League. In October, he signed with the Nuggets. He was waived later and then signed with the Grand Rapids Gold, and he is getting minutes for them right now. He's playing professional basketball in an NBA organization now. And a judge is letting him play for Alabama. He could play as early as Saturday.
Yeah, I don't get it. This is a guy who, apparently what they're going to try to convince themselves is that a G League contract is not an NBA contract. That's crap. That's like saying a AAA contract is not an MLB contract, right? Those G League teams, they are run by the NBA teams. They're farm teams, basically. So, I don't know where you're going with this. Alabama doing this doesn't make any sense. No one's making Alabama recruit this guy. And I just don't get it. This is one I don't get. Chambliss, I get. I don't get this one. This guy hasn't been in college in 3 years, and he's just going to come back? How is he eligible? How is he academically eligible to be on the court?
And the NCAA, to their credit, is going to fight this hard, and they should, because this is ridiculous. I'm willing to put up with a lot in college sports. I'm willing to put up with the portal. I'm willing to put up with players getting paid and all that stuff. And, we just got done talking about Trinidad. He's played 2.5 years of college football. I know he's a little bit older, but it's not like he went pro and played in Canada and is like, you know what, I want to come back to the States.
Right.
This dude played on Saturday for the Motor City Cruise. On Saturday. In front of 1,500 people. But still. Played against the Birmingham Squadron. So right there in Alabama. He is a signed third contract American professional basketball player. And he's going to get to play. And so now, again, I put up with a lot. This is too far. This is ridiculous, and it needs to end. And I know some local judge in Alabama helped him out, and that's great. The NCAA needs to win this one. They have got to win this one, because where does it end? Now that you're letting people that have signed pro contracts and played with pro teams as early as a week before their first college game, Ole Miss needs a tackle. Go check out the practice squads in the NFL.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For Mississippi State, just go with basketball, right? What are DJ Stewart and Reggie Perry doing right now? Bring them back. I could turn this team around pretty quick if I could get DJ Stewart, Robert Woodard, and Reggie Perry back on the roster. I'll get some wins.
Somebody says, just as legitimate as Chambliss. D1 kids are now professionals. What's the difference?
You're just being a troll. Let's just. There's no point in going forward with your conversation. You're just being a troll, and we will move on from you. Continue on. I had a feeling you were going to go down a road, and I was like, I'm gonna end this. I got to be dad here. I will turn this car around if you engage with that troll any further. He's a troll. It doesn't matter.
Apparently, he has a hearing with the NCAA on Tuesday. I can tell you how that's going.
That's not going to go well for him. Yeah.
But yeah, how many baseball players are running through the minors right now that could help a college team right now? Go get them.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that signed out of high school, too.
Yeah. What's Blaze Jordan doing right now? What's Blaze Jordan doing? He's still in the Red Sox organization? Go get him. All sorts of guys like that.
Let's see where he is right now. Gosh, Hadad, he was born in 2002. He's not even young anymore.
No. Blaze Jordan currently is playing for the Portland baseball team in the Portland Sea Dogs. They're a AA team.
Yeah,
go get him back.
He's not getting $400,000 to play there. Go get him. He's probably out of eligibility, I guess. But Sean Padula hadn't played an NBA game yet. I don't think. Ole Miss needs a guard next year. Come on, Sean. Come on back.
Yeah.
Here's your precedent for you. Come on back. This is where a line needs to be drawn. College players are essentially pros. They are essentially pros, but they're not yet. And there needs to be a natural progression in the structure of American sports. And until they are pros, because they're not, you can't bounce back and forth between pro league and college. You can't do it. Unacceptable. And frankly, I don't know if the NBA, I mean, Adam Silver's in a world, he's got so much on his plate and he can't solve any of it because he's a bad commissioner, but I don't know if I'm the NBA, I would want this either. Like, this would not be what I would advocate for if I were the pro leagues. It's like, no, you're not going back to college. That doesn't track either.
Yeah. And I get like this guy. People are saying college players are pros. They are. They absolutely are pros. But you can't go from college to the pros and then back to college. That's the jump they can't allow. Once you leave college, that's it.
It's what it should be.
Like if Trinidad Chambliss said, "No, I'm going into the draft," and he didn't get drafted, and he played a year in the CFL, and he's like, "What am I doing? I'm going back to Ole Miss." No. Nobody would be in favor of that outside of the most diehard Ole Miss fans.
I hate the slippery slope fallacy because you can draw clear lines in places. All right, it's that old meme where PETA did a billboard and it was a bunch of animals. It was like a dog, a cat, and a duck, and a rabbit, and all that. And it was like, where do you draw the line? And it's right here. I mean, they just ordered the animals poorly.
Mm. Yeah, because like the rabbit was behind the horse.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not eating the horse.
No. So right here's where
that
I draw
rabbit,
the line.
though, I'll get him.
Eat the rabbit and the pig and the cow.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But that's where you can easily, once you expand to 12, you have to expand to 32. No, you don't. You draw a line. You pick where the line needs to be drawn, and you draw it, and you dig your heels in and be done with it. Here is your opportunity to do that as well. This is where a line needs to be drawn. I don't know how that's a disagreeable opinion.
And when you talk about the Euro players, are you telling me that Euro players come to college in America, then go pro, and then come back to college? Because if you're saying they went to college in Europe, that's not the NCAA. You don't have any control over there. You cannot leave an NCAA institution, go pro, and then come back to play it. You just can't. This is one where this is the line for me. You found it. This is where I'm going to draw the line.
Yes.
I can't get behind this.
Lee says, Matt Corral. Get Matt Corral back in the fold. He didn't cut it in the NFL. He's going to play for the Birmingham Stallions this year. You know what? Bring him on. Mm-hmm. The petition for another year of eligibility for whatever reason, and boom, get him back. I'm sure there's a member of the Birmingham Stallions that can play tackle for Ole Miss or State. They both need one. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's where you draw the line, right here.
This is it. When we come back, Ben Portnoy of the Sports Business Journal covered the national championship game for his publication. Want to get his thoughts on that and a few other big picture items in the sport of college football. We'll do it when we come back. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the Seabrook Talk Mississippi, your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey with you on a Thursday afternoon. When guests appear on the show, they do so on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Sometimes guests appear, sometimes they don't. Do they appear right now?
They appear
right now.
I did that thing where, I called our guest, and he answered but couldn't hear me. And I think we were trying to call each other back at the same time. And
neither one of you, or whatever. Ben Portnoy, Sports Business Journal, and, of course, my handsome young son. Glad to have you back on the show. I want to start here. You covered Mississippi State for a long time with me. You know that I'm a diehard Bulldog, and yet I did my best to always cover my team impartially and keeping it down the middle. How difficult was Monday night for you as an Indiana alum and fan to watch your team win the national title and have to play it cool in the press box?
As a very serious, professional journalist, I kept the cheering to a minimum. It was really cool, and admittedly, it's just really cool I kind of read about this a little bit the other night, but it's just really cool for all the people I know around that program and the people on staff, people, who went to Indiana, certainly all of my college friends. I popped out to the concourse pregame and saw about 25 guys, fraternity brothers of mine, who were all there hanging out and all together. And it's just really cool to see. Like, this is something that, anyone who's been around Indiana football will tell you kind of something similar, I think, is that it's not that people didn't care about Indiana football. It's just that, it was so hopeless and such a nothing burger that it was, people were just, weren't even emotionally, attached to it, if that makes sense. There was, a detachment from the entire thing just because it was sort of it's just this thing that happens over here. It's not that people, didn't care. It was just, not even a thought. And so, to see in 2 years to go from 3-9 to 16-0 and to win the games that they did this year, to beat Oregon twice, to beat Ohio State, to throttle Alabama, and then to beat Miami in the national championship game. I mean, it is maybe the craziest thing I've ever said that has some truth to it, is that there's a real conversation of is this one of the 2, 3, 4 best football teams in the history of college football?
So you cover the business of this sport, an angle that I am notoriously not that interested in. But I do have to ask you this question, because we hear about, big brands and big names in college football all the time. Is the business of college football better with teams like Indiana winning the national championship?
I think it is. I think it gives everyone a sense of hope, right? It's funny. I wrote this actually in a story that'll come out probably later this week or early next week, is, if you're whatever, not to use, locally, right? If you're Mississippi State, if you're Boston College, if you're Oklahoma State, whatever, the fact that Indiana, of all places, can turn around and win a national championship it gives you hope. And I think there's a lot of angles to it, right? I think it's, to answer your question on the business side, I think that, the reality is that now you're playing in an ecosystem where everyone is paying players. Yes, to different degrees, and yes, people are pushing rules in different ways and things like that. But everyone's in the game. And I think that, certainly not to say that college football teams were not paying players prior to NIL. Let's not pretend otherwise. But I do think, schools that were either not active in that or to a very limited degree are now fully into that. And I think it levels the market. It flattens the curve. Look at what happened at Ole Miss, right? I think Ole Miss is a really great case study of a school that attacked this thing quickly and aggressively and built it up. And we know what Ole Miss's history over time has not been, a top tier SEC program. It just hasn't. And but with what they've been able to do and the way that they've been able to run things, Keith Carter and Walker Jones and that crew deserve a lot of credit for that. And I think that, Indiana is another one, right? Indiana is certainly has next to zero football history, but I think is a really engaged fan base. It's got boosters that have always kind of been involved and been around, but not necessarily in quite that way, especially around football. And now they're fully behind it. And I think that that's, it allows for schools that otherwise had, no shot to feel like they have some shot. Now, again, it takes talent evaluation. It takes hitting on a coach that I think it's, fair to say after winning a national title at Indiana, I don't think it's crazy to say that Curt Cignetti is the best coach in America, ahead of your Kirby Smarts or your whoever. I think there's a real conversation there. And I think that it still takes a confluence of a lot of things, but I think that it at least gives you hope. And that's more than people could say 5, 7, 8, 10 years ago.
And you said it in that answer, too, because now people look at Cuban on the sidelines and they think, oh, well, that's why they did it, right? Because they have the same thing that Texas Tech has, a billionaire that's funding it all. They're in now, but that the coolest part about this team and the run that they've made in the era where money is almost the only thing that matters, it's not like that was a very expensive roster to put together.
No, it wasn't. And I think, I've talked to some people around Indiana's program, and I know there hadn't really been a number reported, but like my understanding is that, they're probably middle of the pack in the Big Ten as far as what they're doing, paying for this roster. Like, this is not like Oregon or whatever, others at the top of the sport, Texas Tech, et cetera. But I think, like, you're right. Like, listen, there's a lot of schools that spent a hell of a lot of money on football for a long time that didn't win. And, yes, in this era, money certainly matters a little bit differently. But, if money was the only thing that mattered, Texas A&M would have a lot more national titles than they do right now. And I think that, it's a combination of all of those things, right? It's the money, it's the talent evaluation, it's bringing over, we see it now with like head coaches who are coming from elsewhere. They're bringing guys with them, right? Like Indiana brought over 13 James Madison transfers from the time that Curt Cignetti was there. 7 of those players are still on the team this year. And so when you add those things together, it expedites the process a little bit. But it's funny, I was joking about this with some folks after the game. I think it was someone from the Big Ten or someone from IU. I can't remember exactly who it was. But, I said they basically said something to the effect of, man, Curt Cignetti is going to get so many head coaches fired after 2 years now because of what he's done. Like, it looks crazy and people are going to try to copy the blueprint, but I think it also takes the kind of perfect confluence of things.
Ben, what are the top stories going to be in this college football offseason? Where are the NCAA going to be focused? Where are our teams going to be focused? What are you going to be reporting on for the next 6 months?
God, how much time you got?
Yeah.
No, I think
about 4 minutes, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think like there's a lot that's going on. I think that it's worth tracking. The college football playoff has set itself a Friday deadline to decide whether to expand or not. My expectation, and I think others have kind of reported around this as well, is that nothing's going to happen. It's probably going to stay at 12. I've heard, different variations of, there's not a lot of discussion to, there's no way in hell that's happening. So probably somewhere in between, right? I think that it's a mix. I think that that's going to be something to monitor, though, because I think that it's funny. These things are all kind of related in that, if the college football playoff expands, that means ESPN needs to, in theory, create a way to get more money to the schools for the rights to those games. Let's say it were to go to 24, and I don't think that's going to happen, but play it out a little bit, is like if it went to 24 teams, realistically, that means probably that the Power 4 conferences at the very least are getting rid of their championship games. That has a trickle-down effect on the ecosystem, and so on and so forth. So I think that, like, there's a lot that's going to go on Capitol Hill or with, Super League talk or antitrust ideas and things like that, but, like, ultimately, like, the college football playoff is kind of the head of the snake on a lot of this stuff. And if it stays at 12, then I think we probably operate largely like we do right now a year from now, generally speaking. If it expands, like, there's going to be some changes, and I think those things will be reflected in the offseason.
Got about 2 minutes to go. We were just talking about this Alabama thing with the player coming from the G League, going to be, the judge says he's eligible, the NCAA says he's not. Is this going to become more of a thing that these guys who left college, played a couple of years in some minor league, get to come back? Is that going to be something the NCAA could finally win on?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I played 2 years of lacrosse at Indiana, so I figured I'd probably call them and see if I could use my eligibility. I still had 2 years of eligibility to work with, so I don't know if Cignetti needs an extra, long snapper or whatever, but happy to play the part. Look, I think that I think it's a real problem, and I think Charlie Baker addressed it with me and 2 other reporters the other day in D.C. at the NCAA convention. Like, this is a real issue for the NCAA, the eligibility piece. Now, the NCAA has won about, I think it's like 60 to 70% of these cases that have gone to trial or have been resolved early. They've actually won a lot of these cases because I think there are a lot of people who see this as like, listen, like, college athletes, you got 4 years or 5 years, like, do with this what you will. There's got to be an end somewhere. I think the basketball piece of this is an existential crisis and an existential threat to college athletics. Now, maybe it's a thing that does end up sort of, for lack of a better term, blowing up the system and kind of lets you reset and figure this thing out from square one. But I think it is a real problem for a lot of places and for a lot of people, including the NCAA. Like, it is something that is not going to go away.
Ben, always appreciate you coming on, man. Good to talk to you, and congratulations on your Hoosiers, man. I know you guys. I told you I was rooting for you, all the great Indiana people who have come through the state of Mississippi. I do feel bad for Robbie Donahoe, my one lone Purdue fan, but it is what it is. Better him than me, I'll say that.
No, I appreciate you guys. Always fun, man. It's been crazy, and it was a heck of a night on Monday night.
Ben Portnoy, Sports Business Journal. He joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. We'll wrap up the 4 o'clock hour when we come back.
From the Venable Glass Trend.
Sports, you'll hear about it first, right here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back. Always glad to hear from Ben on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Tyler on the text line says, why did Cignetti take so long to become a head coach? He feels like a new name or newer on the scene, but his age is already sort of up there. So he's been a head coach for a while. As the story goes, he's been a head coach. This is his 16th season, I think, as a head coach.
That's correct.
As the story goes, he was an assistant at Alabama and was getting frustrated, frankly, with the lack of head coaching opportunities that were afforded his way. He was seeing other guys get head coaching jobs and not him, and told Nick Saban, I'm going to go take a job at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, IUP.
IUP.
And that's where he got started. So he had to work his way up from the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. It's a real thing. But that's the route he took. He just took the Saban assistant road less traveled, which is going from Saban assistant to IUP to Elon to James Madison to Indiana. It's just and the thing is, the press conference line, I win, Google me. At IUP, he went 53-17. At Elon, he went 14-9, but 10-5 in conference. At James Madison, he ushered in their transition from the CAA to the Sun Belt. He went 31-4 in conference, including 52-9 overall. That includes 2 years after they transitioned from the CAA to the Sun Belt. And then, of course, at Indiana, he's 27-2. He's just a winner and believed in himself and didn't want to wait anymore and thought he was good enough to be a head coach, and boy, did he prove it.
He was correct in his assessment of himself. They talk about him being a good evaluator. He evaluated himself correctly. It's a good place to start with a lot of people. Can you evaluate yourself, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah. Somebody says they feel a little uneasy of having 24-year-olds compete against teenagers could be a safety issue. And then another one, is it true their average player age is 23? But, by the way, 23 is old for a college football player, but that's not crazy. That's a fifth-year player. That's if you redshirted or you got a medical redshirt. 23 is a veteran, but it's not like some new phenomenon to have a 23-year-old playing college football. That's 4 years, and then, again, if you redshirted or got a medical, that's a strategy that teams are going to continue to go after, older players, but there's been too much of that, oh my gosh, they have 23-year-olds. College football teams have had 23-year-olds forever.
Yeah.
They just got a whole lot of them as part of their broader strategy to build a roster that is more prone to preparing the right way, being more disciplined. I mean, if you're Ole Miss State, you got to look at what Indiana did, and that was part of Ole Miss's success this year. They had an old roster, a bunch of old dudes on it.
Yeah.
You got to look at that and think maybe there's something to that. Maybe I don't go chase.
I mean, we've talked about it for years. You don't win with freshmen in football, right? Very rarely you're going to see a freshman-laden team be a big winner. Well, that used to be, you recruit those guys and they spend 3 or 4 years in your program and you develop them. And like I said yesterday, you're just getting seniors from wherever, and they've all played football. And they I think the older you are, when you're 23, 24, you realize this is my job. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not, I got to come in, I got to play hard so I can make money. The money is tied to that. So they're starting to figure it out a little bit. Yeah.
Somebody says, how many 18 to 19-year-olds are losing opportunities because of this? The same number of scholarships are available regardless, even though players are moving from this roster to this roster to this roster. There's still the same number of rosters, more scholarships available now. They've taken the restriction off. I mean, am I crazy? The math is still there. It's the same number of players, and the COVID year is gone. So it's the same number of players, the same number of teams, the same rosters. There's just more movement, but it's the same number of opportunities. Right? Or am I nuts?
No, I think you're correct. I mean, it's no different. So, I mean, if you're an 18, 19-year-old, how many opportunities are there really out there for you? How many college football teams are like ready to plug a freshman in at a key position? It's very few. And the ones that are good enough, they get in. Malachi Toney gets in.
And there are, John's right, there are more that are hanging out in college. There's not the desperate need to just go get money now. That is a real thing.
That's true.
So the opportunities aren't getting taken away. They are different, though. So that should, in theory, enhance the Sun Belts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys, I grew up going to Furman games. That's a hell of a place to go play college football. So, oh no, they can't go to Georgia State anymore. They have to go to Furman. Well, you're getting a better education and you're still playing college football with great coaches and great development. I'm not.
It'll be fine, yeah.
I think it'll be okay, ultimately. But that's just me. Maybe I'm off base. After the news, we'll get to the portal updates. A couple of interesting ones, a handful of interesting ones when we come back.
Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Hour 3, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you. You guys know the drill by now. It's a more interesting day than most when it comes to the as the portal turns. The conversation is not necessarily about incoming players in the traditional, this player has chosen to go to Mississippi State or Ole Miss today. But there's stuff to talk about regardless as the portal turns for your college football fix.
The College Football Fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. The best-selling truck in America sure is. It's the Ford F-150. Don't wait around. Don't mess around. Don't play around. Unless you're going to do that in your new Ford F-150. Head to your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Just saw this. I have to word vomit it. A documentary called Miracle, The Boys of 80 is coming to Netflix on January 30th. I cannot wait. A documentary about the Miracle on Ice. Not a Disney movie, but a documentary featuring the actual players telling their perspective. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Netflix. I hope this doesn't suck like the Florida documentary. Anyway. As the portal turns, Brian Hadad, no incoming players, but one outgoing player with a...
One incoming player.
Oh my gosh, yes. There is one incoming player that's replacing the outgoing player.
Yes, so...
Start with the incoming player.
Yeah, Brandon... I found out.
You mentioned him yesterday. That's
Brandon Snee.
Snee. Okay.
It's not Snee, which is a little disappointing. But the tackle from UAB miraculously got taller, apparently, over the week. After a week of, he's too short. We're not going to take him. Oh, wait a minute. No, he's fine. So,
wait, hold on. Was that the initial?
That was the message board. They measured him, and he was listed at 6'6". He was only 6'2". I was like, seriously? If you had said 6'4", I might have believed it. There's no way a guy who's listed at 6'6" is 6'2". So, regardless of all that, He'll be in Starkville next year. He will replace Javen James, who, as we talked about yesterday, entered the portal and then was picked up by the University of Alabama. And that's two players now from Mississippi State that Alabama's picked up in the portal that, in all likelihood, weren't going to start for Mississippi State next season. So I don't know what's going on in Alabama where they got to feel like they got to take guys like that. Javen James, I thought he did the best he could, but that is not somebody I thought would ever play. I don't think he'll play any. If he's playing meaningful reps for the University of Alabama, they're down a lot more than I thought they were.
Hey, Dad, they took an Ole Miss lineman, Ethan Fields, was not going to take a single meaningful snap for Ole Miss this year either.
I don't get it. But now, one thing I want to say about Snee coming in, he is replacing James. Now, I don't think Jordan Seaton is going to end up in Starkville, but if he decides he wants to, this is not an either-or situation. They would take them both. So it's not like they brought – people are saying, oh, they got Snee, that must mean they're out on Seaton. They probably are out on Seaton, but those two things are not connected in that way. This is about Javen James left. They had a free spot. They needed another tackle. They get this guy. He could end up being State starting left tackle next year, or if Seaton comes in, he could be starting right tackle, or he could be somewhere else. I don't know.
State is no longer being listed. And look, I know that the Mississippi schools get slighted for players that they're in on all the time. I understand that. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Seaton is in Atlanta and coaches are flying in to see him and he's making a final decision, Mississippi State is not mentioned among the teams that are doing that.
Right. So
we'll one plus one sometimes equals two. You shot your shot, and you should have.
Yeah, but there's two ways to look at it. Either they're out or they're working in the shadows, and we'll see which one it is.
That would be nuts if
Dan
Lanning flew cross country.
A Jordan Seaton commits to Mississippi State. Hayes Fawcett tweet would set the internet on fire.
Yeah, I mean
Twitter. The sports people I follow, they wouldn't know how to handle it. But that being said, I don't think they're going to have to worry about it.
I mean, he visited Baton Rouge for multiple days. Everybody there thought they had him because he went to dinner at Supper Club or whatever. Mm-hmm. Dan Lanning flies cross-country to go see him. He visited Miami as they're preparing to play in the national championship game. But yeah, we'll see. The Oregon people seem to be very confident, even though I guess he never took that visit. They think that they got him. So I don't know how that works. Oh, well. On the Ole Miss side, if you look at the portal tracker, you see, Trey Hall found a home at Old Dominion. Good for him. He's a Mississippi kid. Wasn't going to play, especially behind Keywan Lacey in particular at running back, and he found a home. Good for him. He'll probably do great there. And that's it. Okay. All right. Portal, as the portal turns, is wrapped up. Not so much. So you knew this was coming because we talked about it a lot. But Prince Will Uman-Mielen was entered in the transfer portal, and he is off to LSU. And despite a couple people that cover LSU's insistence that it wasn't going to happen, LSU is going to pay Ole Miss a pretty hefty buyout, almost $600,000 worth of a buyout. Not due immediately. I guess it's due this summer. But between he and Devin Harper, LSU's going to pay about $1 million out of their rev share to sign those two Ole Miss players before they pay those Ole Miss players. As we talked about, it's a loss. He's a good player. He had 9 sacks in the SEC. I think he had 3 in the playoffs. He's a good player. Now, you've got Cam Franklin. You've added 3 edges. I keep saying 2. It's 3 edges in the transfer portal. Still, I think, working on one more. See if they can make that happen. But it's a loss in production for sure. But at least you get something in return. Like, you protected yourself financially by signing him. And, man, $600K is $600K. I mean, that ain't nothing. So at least you get that in return. That's not surprising that was the end result. They were never going to, I don't think, hold him ransom. They tried to talk him out of leaving, I think. But you weren't going to have I'm going to get a judge to force you to play for me situation. It was just making sure that they secured his buyout if he was going to leave, and apparently they have done that.
What if Kiffin just says, hey, never mind, we're not paying that? What are they going to do?
Well,
Take him to court?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, so legally binding contract.
God, I want to see. I want the drama. Because I could absolutely see Kiffin saying, "We're not paying them. What are you talking about?" Be funny.
Yeah. So there's the one, and then the other one, a guy that we've been talking about, Luke Farrelly, the Cal transfer to Clemson for a few days, transfer to Ole Miss. It has been reported many times over that he's been in Oxford for a little while, at least to some degree. Finally went national. Matt Zenitz this morning said ex-Cal star linebacker Luke Farrelly, who signed with Clemson earlier this portal cycle, is expected to re-enter the transfer portal. Ole Miss is expected to be a team to watch with him. As you can imagine, the Clemson people are pretty furious. Nobody that covers the team has made reference to in any way a rev share contract. There's 3 different signatures that a player can make with the school. It's very confusing, I understand that. One is your scholarship, one is an NIL deal, and one is revenue sharing. The only one that's really binding, frankly, is the revenue sharing, because there's a financial penalty for breaking said contract. NIL deals cannot have buyouts in them because it's not quote-unquote guaranteed money. It has to get sent through the clearinghouse and all that stuff. And then scholarships, I mean, you have to treat them like regular students. Regular students can enroll in school in one place and leave and go to another one if they want to. As long as the academics line up, they're good to go. So the Clemson side, I imagine, is furious. I understand why, although he's never taken a snap for you. And to this point, there's been no indication that he has signed a rev share contract. I assume Ole Miss would be willing to pay it if there was one. But not a single person that covers Clemson has said that there is one. So it's unfortunate. That's also why on this show we have the stance of do not cry about tampering because you do it too. This guy's the reason for that. But high-quality player, ACC Rookie of the Year this year. At Cal. Because you can't call him freshman anymore.
That's right.
Super athletic, though. I mean, high ceiling, multiple years of eligibility. The rumored money that he's getting paid by Ole Miss that Clemson people have put out there is inaccurate. It is significantly higher. Or what they're saying is significantly higher than reality. And as it looks right now, Clemson kind of caught with their pants down. And it happens in the portal era. It's just what happens sometimes. But to my knowledge, nobody has reported that he has a rev share deal with Clemson. If so, Ole Miss will owe a buyout, as it should be. But if he didn't have one, Clemson needs to wake up fast to today's reality.
Yeah, that's just not smart business.
It's so bad if he didn't have one.
Yeah.
But there is your portal update. And your college football fix, driven by Ford. We'll get to some of your messages when we come back.
The best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Borkey and Hadad, Sports Talk Mississippi. Good question on the text line. Can rev share contracts have non-compete clauses? As I understand it, no.
Yeah,
because they're not employees.
Right, because, you got guys going from state to Ole Miss and Ole Miss to state and Ole Miss to LSU and so on and so forth, yes. They're not real contracts. They are, but they aren't. Yeah,
that's what it is.
Because it's not a, like you just said, they're not employees.
Yeah. Somebody says any Ole Miss player that would transfer to LSU is a jack rear end, period. I guess I could have said donkey, but
I mean, your inability to say that word I believe we can say.
I think we can, but this is especially
just don't read the text.
Kids are going to basketball practice or whatever.
Say it like Dusty Rhodes. That's how I get away with it.
I wish I could describe to you the number of players on your roster that were presented an opportunity to go to LSU and said no, especially at the final hour. The offers that were thrown at Ole Miss players that decided to stay, the dollar amounts are like Monopoly money. They tried hard to get more than the 4 that they got. Hard. Your best players. Hard. Even your kicker. Try to get him too. I mean, they tried.
Good kicker. I'd try to get him.
I would too. He's elite. But there's a whole hell of a lot more of your players that chose not to follow, that were given the opportunity to follow, than the ones that did. Princeville hurts. I think Devin Harper hurts. I think he would have started at tackle. And Ole Miss has a big need at tackle. And Indiana one hit the portal today. That'd be a guy. I mean, they need to add a tackle. They need bodies in the room.
Already committed to San Diego State.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him. But, I mean, they need bodies. And there's not that many available. They need tackles. So Harper, I think, will hurt ultimately, although they got a buyout for him too. But as we've said before, I even clipped it and put it on socials the other day, when Lane Kiffin got on that airplane, and I told you he was taking 4 players with him, and they were Winnie Watkins, who was another guy that tried to take players with him to the point where it made the locker room mad with him. It's Winnie Watkins, a lineman that's never started a game before, Daugherty, and Princeville. You would have taken that. You would have been like, yes, oh my gosh, yes, that sounds great. Because remember the talk nationally and all that. Well, Keywan's gone.
Yeah.
Deuce Alexander, he's going with him.
Yeah. Chambliss.
Sure. Chambliss gone. I mean, Patrick Kutas gone. He's going with him for sure. Oh, he'll take Sonny P with him. Hi, LSU fans. Hey, another Perkins, come on down. Will Eccles, I assume, he got a massive offer and so on and so forth. If those are the 4 that you lost, yeah, I mean, you're thrilled with how things have gone. Thrilled. It just isn't perfect because it's the portal era. Right. It's not going to be perfect. And I think Princeville's going to hurt and Harper's going to hurt. But you know who would have hurt a heck of a lot more? Keywan Lacey.
Yes. Chambliss.
Trinidad Chambliss. Deuce Alexander, not as big as those two, but he would have hurt bad.
Yeah.
William Eccles would have hurt bad. First-round pick, interior defensive lineman, that's what he's projected to be in next year's draft. So, you came out all right. More than all right. Somebody says, I'm told Harper called and wanted to come back. He's mad Kiffin is recruiting over him. That is a rumor out there.
I mean, yeah. But what did you expect, man? As simple as that. What did you expect? You made one of the classic blunders. One of which is never get involved with a land war in Asia. Only slightly less famous than never believe Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. What did you? And the same thing's going to happen.
You laid down with a dog and you got fleas.
When Daugherty doesn't start for them next year, he's going to have one of those moments too. Of wait, what did I do?
Yeah.
Why? But hey. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think it's Spanish for Wales? Yeah.
You caught it. Good job. Agree to disagree.
Roger liked Jack Rear End, so.
Yeah. If you say, yeah, that's fine. I can't get behind Jack Rear End. Somebody said just say asteroid.
I guess I could do that.
A Jack Asteroid. I like that.
Could do that too.
Yeah. Make it work.
Brian, how does Snay, like the horse. Snay. Compared to Javen James, is this an upgrade?
I mean, if you're a PFF guy, it is. For sure. The numbers were much better. Now, obviously, one guy's playing was UAB. They're in the conference, American Conference, and one guy's playing in the SEC. But man, James was not an easy watch. Now, first year at left tackle, I don't think he even expected to play much. If Blake Steen doesn't get hurt, we might not know who Javen James even is at this time. But I think I'll tell you if it's an upgrade in 2026. On paper, it appears to be.
Yeah, and that's all you can do, right? Is when you're doing portal stuff, you just hope that the on paper translates to on the field. But that's a tough position right now. Again, I mean, I cannot emphasize enough how much Ole Miss needs a tackle. I know they've got Terez Davis returning. I know they've got Kern from LSU, and they keep their interior three. But man, the depth there, and frankly, you need an offensive tackle. They've been working on them. They're in on some. That is the one position group where you look at, because again, the retention was great. Like even without Princewell on the defensive line, you love it. You love it. You love the secondary. Love it. You really like what they've added at linebacker. All three of the guys that are probably going to play the most have not been at Ole Miss, so there's that. But on paper, as Hadad said a second ago, on paper, linebacker room looks good. The interior of the offensive line, you like it. Has an Odom at tight end, brought in a portal one from South Carolina, you like it. Obviously, you love Keywan Lacey, and then the two running backs that you've added behind him. There's a lot of experience there. You love what you're going to have at quarterback. Mm-hmm. There's a really high level of potential at wide receiver. There's a path for them to be good at receiver. A lot of prove it with portal guys coming in, but you know what you have with Deuce Alexander already.
With Ole Miss, my goodness, they've hit on so many of these portal receivers. At some point, I just have to say they know what they're looking for. I think, and State's got a little bit of that as well. I mean, they hit on Kevin Coleman. Mm-hmm. Akari got hurt, but he was good in flashes. Then last year, Thompson and Evans are stars. And so when you talk about Marquise Johnson coming to Mississippi State, I fully expect him to be a 50 to 60 catch guy this year to go with Anthony Evans.
And then there's tackle. There's every other position group. You look at the Ole Miss roster and think it is, because you have so much familiarity, it is, I mean, the number 2 portal class, you love it. Mm-hmm. But man, I am so concerned about going from what you've had at tackle to what you currently have there. So concerned about it. And they've added one. Kern from LSU, they added the Florida guy in the portal as well, but he's not taking a snap yet. I shouldn't question John Garrison because of the job that he did this year, but guy hadn't taken a snap yet.
Right.
And until he does.
Somebody on the text line talking my language. I'm worried about Cunningham leaving after next year. I'm not even worried about it going to State or anything like that. But Borkey and I have a little wager we made.
What was the number?
15.5.
15.5.
I think that's my Caleb Cunningham catches. I took the under on 15.5. Ole Miss just keeps recruiting receivers, and they don't play 9 guys.
They
added some, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're going to. I don't think Cunningham plays a huge role. I know you said that. Do you think that's how they kept him in play? Again, that's coaches have got to recruit. I don't think he plays a huge role for Ole Miss next year.
I don't think he'll have a huge role, but I do think he'll have one.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, he's a guy who's talented enough to go somewhere, I think. And look, was he raw coming out of high school? Absolutely. Extremely. But he's probably polished enough that he could go out and just on talent alone have a huge role somewhere. So it's surprising that he's sticking around.
Who's the new Ole Miss OC? Can he step into the role that Charlie Weiss Jr. did? Weiss did a great job, for sure, especially after Kiffin left. His name's John David Baker. He's actually from the Kiffin tree. He was at Ole Miss previously, but left to go to East Carolina to run the offense on his own, and is now back. Did a really good job at ECU. It's the same system. I do think, maybe I'm wrong. I need to do even more research, but I think you'll see more 2-back sets. than you have recently, but generally runs the same offense and did a really good job at ECU. So you hope that can translate back to a familiar place as a former Kiffin assistant. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Seabrook.
Now we have a special surprise for everyone.
Give it to me. More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. I felt like we were playing chicken there.
Well, I'm still mad about what you just told me.
Oh, well, step your game up, son.
Hey, that's getting a king cake.
That's right. One of my listeners was very kind, said, hey, I'm sending you and Robbie a king cake. I was like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Borkey thought he was going to get some of that king cake.
All I got was a 4-star review on Spotify.
4-star?
Yeah, somebody gave me a 4-star the other day.
Don't you have this? You can't make the same deal with your listeners that I make with mine. That's you have to give 5 stars, but you can say whatever you want in the review.
See, I ask nicely for.
No. You say, look, I don't care about what's in the review. You can call me, trash. Just give me 5 stars while you do it. I haven't checked my reviews in a long time. I hope people are still holding to that.
Have you ever written a negative review of an establishment? Have you ever done it?
No, I don't think that I have. I'd have to think about it.
I've written a handful of positive ones.
Yeah.
Specifically centered around like wait staff and stuff. I was like, hey, I had this server and she was on like just unbelievable and, give her a raise, that kind of stuff. I've written one negative review in my life. And I don't regret it at all. It was over oysters. Okay, so
all right.
Brought out oysters, and you could immediately smell.
Oh, no good.
Pungent. I mean, just it hit you right away.
Not good.
Oh, these are bad.
Yeah.
And I hate sending food back. I'll eat it, right?
But that's something you can't. You'll get sick. You might die.
You'll die. Yeah. And they weren't cheap either. It was expensive.
Yeah.
Right?
Their oysters are expensive. Yeah.
So I told the waitress, I was like, hey, I hate, and I apologized 100 times. I was like, I'm so sorry. I hate being this guy. It's not your fault. These are bad. Mm-hmm. And not like they don't taste good to me and I'm being that guy, smell them. They're bad. And she was kind of like, I don't know. They're fresh. We just got them in today, whatever. I was like, okay, but you got to listen to me closely. They're bad.
Yeah.
And so she goes and gets her manager. He comes over. And he says, are you sure you've just never had oysters before? They're fine. No big deal. Everybody at the table, when we got somebody at the table next to us just to make sure I wasn't going crazy, He was gaslighting me. He's like, actually, no, this is what they're supposed to smell.
Come on. I know what oysters are supposed to smell.
They're not supposed to at all, really. I mean, ultimately.
A little brininess, maybe.
Sure.
That's about all.
This came from the ocean.
Right.
Not, this is a dead animal.
Not this has been out in the heat.
So, I mean, he's gaslighting and all that, and he
hit him up. You yelped him,
but they kept saying, "Well, these are fresh. I mean, we just got them in today; they're fresh."
That's not what I'm saying.
Different waitress comes over, frozen. She was like, you guys. She's like, they're not fresh at all.
Yeah,
we get these in months in advance, and they get thawed in the back.
Okay,
so I left a review. I didn't say her name, but I was like,
you should. No,
I explained that, hey. I wasn't going to do anything. I just, hey, take these back. I'll get different ones, and if they smell good, they smell good. They kept arguing with me, so I left a bad review.
I didn't leave a review, but one time I don't know how this is possible, but I bought my oldest daughter McDonald's, and that cheeseburger was medium rare.
Ooh, can't have that.
And I tweeted at him. I don't review. I put it out in public. I was like, hey guys, hey McDonald's, I wouldn't want my steak this rare. Never mind. Your cheeseburgers. So, yeah, I like to go straight to the to the social media and let my followers see it. I don't want to let it waste away. If I got something really bad to say. That being said, I tend to not want to be negative about most places. McDonald's, I don't care. McDonald's ain't never going to advertise on the Thunder and Lightning podcast, but a local restaurant might down the road, or just want to advertise here on SuperTalk. So, people ask me all the time, what restaurants do you hate? I'm like, you're not getting that out of me.
None of them.
Yeah, you're not getting that out of me.
Not one.
Here's an example, by the way. I was told I could say what I want here if I leave 5 stars. This is from 1025. See if you remember what happened that day. Sorry, Robbie and Brian, I'm not going to listen anymore until basketball season starts up. Oh, no!
Oh, this poor
I'm
guy.
sorry, but this was right after the Texas game. He's like, I'm not going to keep up with football anymore. Don't even care. Good luck on the podcast. You guys are great. Well, sir, no, baseball will be here soon, sir. Please come back.
Did you see that video of the guy after the
yes,
that walks
so
to the
funny.
baseball field and
save me! You're all we've got. Poor guy. Brian O'Connor has never coached under more. Brian O'Connor's won a national title. He's never had more pressure. Somebody, Brooks Bryant, who used to run the Hail State Stool account, tweeted out, "I dare Brian O'Connor to give up a run in the top of the first."
I mean,
what if it's 1-0? People are going to lose their mind.
Hey, Dad, what if it's 2-1 in the 7th?
Yeah, people were like, "No, what is happening?"
The tension in the ballpark that day is going to be
high.
Oh man! Do you know how badly Mississippi State University needs a run rule win in that first game?
Yeah, they just need to come out and bottom of the first. They just circling the bases like that Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Just play 7 runs.
Yeah, just all right, we're gonna be okay. It's okay.
Man.
So there you go.
Yeah, guy says ask him to eat one. I should have. That should have been my move.
That's it. Yeah. All right, you have one.
Dude, I wasn't gonna.
He would have hit you I don't know what you may have done. So he would have hit you with that.
I don't.
Do you want to hear a story?
I'm not confrontational, but when he hit me with have you had oysters before?
Yeah,
they're supposed to. Oh man, that made me so mad.
Working, had a phone call. Woman calls me. She's like, "There's a roach on my pizza," and I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, I tell you what, ma'am, you bring that pizza back up here and let me look at it, and I'll remake you a fresh one, no questions asked. And she brings it back up there, and I open the thing up, and right on the top is this little black thing. It was an olive. And you should have seen the look on her face when I picked it off her pizza, popped it in my mouth, and ate it, and said, I'll remake this for you. Give me just a minute. I held my word. I remade her a pizza. Yeah. She came all the way back up. But I sure enough ate that olive right in front of her. And she looked at me, and I was like, it was an olive.
What if she was allergic to olives, though?
Well, then that's fine. Don't tell me it's a roach. My favorite thing back in the day was somebody would call. We had 2 things for scams. There's a hair in my pizza. Okay, what kind of hair is it? It's a long brown hair. And I'd just be like, well, I don't know whose it is then. Because
they don't work here.
They don't work here. Look at me. My hair has always been like this. So that's, try again. Just out there, if you're listening, just always say the hair is short. Never say the hair is long. Because the short hair can come from anywhere. It can come from an eyebrow, your nose, whatever. You say long, and the person who made your food has got short hair, you're screwed. Secondly, I ate at your restaurant, and I ate pizza, and it made me sick. And I would always tell them the same thing. Okay, go to the doctor. If they agree and they give you a food poisoning diagnosis, we'll pay the bill for you. And it would always be like, oh, well, I just wanted to get another pizza. And I would hit them. I'm just like, let me get this straight. You ate here. You got sick, so you want more food. And that would usually be met by somebody hanging up. So, yeah. You gotta know. You've seen those like boiler room where you got to have an answer to every question.
Yeah.
I had one. I had one for every. No matter what you said, I could prove you were probably not telling the truth.
Did you ever have to do the in 30 minutes type?
No,
stuff?
That's something they stopped doing a long time ago because it's not safe. You had Domino's drivers racing trains, trying to get across because they were because it's not just that it's free; it's that the driver had to pay for the pizza.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
Exactly. So you had guys doing 90 miles an hour down civilian roads because they didn't want to lose money, so that you couldn't do that anymore. One of my favorite ones. So the computers had a way of tracking what deliveries made it, quote, on time. And anybody who got a pizza it took more than 45 minutes to get to them, they would get a free coupon mailed to them immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one day we had an ice storm. And when I tell you that the first pizza of the day went out on time, but not a single one did after that, you can believe me, right? I mean, and we were busy as hell because it's icing. Nobody wants to get out. Everybody wants pizza delivered. It's taking forever to get there. We're behind. So I finish up the day, and I'm talking to my supervisor. I'm like, man, we're going to be sending out about 1,000 coupons today for free pizza. And he said, no, you're not. I turned that feature off this morning when I saw the forecast. It's like, yes, sir, let's go. So.
Oh, man. I love it.
Those were the good old days, kind of.
Kind of. Something like that.
I ran into an old coworker of mine the other day, and we were talking. I was like, they don't even slap out the pizzas anymore. They got like a machine that flattens it out. It's like they're soft. You couldn't do what I did. You couldn't get through it.
Used to work in a movie theater. Somebody on the text line says, my favorite customers were ones who wanted a refund because their popcorn tasted bad, yet the bucket was 95% empty.
Yeah, I had a rule about that. Like, if you came back and one slice was gone, I'm okay, we'll do another one, or we'll give you a refund. But if, like, you've eaten all but one piece,
come on.
Take it up the chain of command. You can go talk to somebody else. I'm not doing it.
Where's your shame when you do something like that? You know what I mean?
They don't have any shame. They don't have any shame.
We need more shame.
Yeah.
We need one more segment of Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll do that when we come back.
Sports Talk Mississippi is back.
This is it.
Super Talk Mississippi.
All right, Hadad, what's coming up on Thunder and Lightning?
We're going to talk about the way State's done in the portal, and I feel like there's not a lot of nuance there. I think a lot of people think it's a total failure. Some people think, oh no, everything's fine. It's somewhere in the middle there, but we got to talk about that. And something that I talked about with Ben, or that Ben Portnoy mentioned earlier, about what are expectations now that Indiana has won a national title within 2 years of hiring a new coach? Are we going to hold Jeff Lebby to a higher standard? Something like that. Talk about that, some baseball, little hoops, all of that coming up on Thunder and Lightning Live.
Somebody says, was an assistant manager at Blockbuster. A woman tries to rent a movie, has late fees. I say accidents happen and volunteer to split the late fee with her. She gets upset, says there's no way, storms out. Comes back 30 minutes later, says it was her husband's fault, and says, let's split it. Told her that the offer expired when she walked out. Have to pay the full late charge. She left again. Late fee stayed on the account. Yeah, I mean, like, I have disputed things like that before, right? Like, I didn't ask for this. I got my car worked on a long time ago. And they called me. They were like, hey, you've got this and this and this wrong with it too. And I said, no, just do what I came in for. I said, okay, hung up the phone. They did the other stuff anyway. And I came in, and the bill was 4 figures bigger than I was expecting because they did other stuff. And I was like, I'm not paying for that. I did not ask for that. I'm not paying for that. And the guy was like, well, we will reverse the work. And I said, reverse the work. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I mean, I didn't bicker that much. I don't know if they didn't expect me to push back or not, but I was like, yeah, go back and reverse it then. I asked for one thing, and they ultimately did not charge me for the work I didn't ask for. So I understand pushing back on certain things, but like eating a whole pizza and coming in and saying, actually, it was bad, I need a new one. It's foreign to me.
It absolutely happens. It happens every day. So.
What's the worst, not restaurant, but the worst like dining experience you've ever had?
I ate at a barbecue restaurant in Texas. This is like 2003. And, man, I'd read about it, and everybody hyped it up and said it was really good. And then I get in there, and, like, you could smell the meat. The meat smelled good in there, smoky, great. And then they're like, I get the ribs. I'm going through the line, and like, do you want barbecue sauce? I'm like, yeah, I'll have some. It was like some sort of, like, chunky salsa marinara. It wasn't barbecue sauce. And, that's probably my mistake. I should not have gotten barbecue sauce in a Texas place. That's fine. But it ruined it. Absolutely ruined my plate full of barbecue that I've been looking forward to for a long, long time. So that I'll put that near the top. We ate one time. Richard owed me a steak dinner, so he paid up at Media Days. You weren't there for this one, and he took me and Rippy to a place, and it was not great. And I saw the tab. I was like, man, that's rough considering that this was a very mid steakhouse. That's what you don't want. You don't want when you spend the big money.
Yeah, and
it's bad. And then it's mid. You're like, what did we do? Nothing worse than that.
I used to be obsessed with Kitchen Nightmares.
Oh, yeah. My daughter is. My oldest daughter. She loves it.
And I would get so into like the hyper awareness of when you'd go somewhere nice and the dessert was clearly not made by them.
I'm going to give you a couple of restaurant tips, all right? When you go into a restaurant, you're like, is this place clean? I want you to look up and you look down, all right? You look down at the baseboards. The baseboards are clean. That's a restaurant that's taking care of their business, right? Mm-hmm. Bad restaurant will let them get just nasty. The other thing is look up at the lights, all right? If lights are out, that's a bad sign. But a lot of times you look up at the lights and you see bugs in there, they don't care.
Yeah, imagine what the kitchen's like.
Exactly. If they can't be bothered to get on a ladder, let the hatch down, dump the roaches and flies out. They're just letting them there for you to see. Next time you go to a restaurant, look up at their lights. And if you see bugs, probably not a good sign.
Now, I'm going to go eat literally right after the show, and that's the first thing I'm going to do when I walk in is floor ceiling. And I've kind of noticed, I notice stuff like that anyway.
Yeah, but baseboards and the lights are really good telltale signs of whether, the restroom, do they keep a clean restroom? Mm-hmm. If they don't, not great.
Yeah, but then I go to Cooter Brown's in New Orleans, and the whole place is disgusting.
Well, there are some places where the filth is part of the ambiance. But if we're talking about your average restaurant, I'd like it to be clean. Yeah, I get to New Orleans, and my New Orleans cleanliness scale is going to be a little lower, right? I just expect a little less. The food is so much better, too, so who cares? Somebody asking about this, I would say no.
Thank you guys for making this show a part of your day every single day.
Back at it tomorrow.
You'll get an extra hour of Hey Dad here coming up after the news, and we'll see you tomorrow at 3. Y'all have a good night. Get ready for this weekend. It might be some tough stuff to deal with, especially in North Mississippi. We'll see you tomorrow.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.